Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to your December 2015 General Tarotscope. It's Raina here. And there's a mixed bag of energies in December, so it's hard to kind of come up with a cutesy little title. But basically, the sun is in Sag for the first 3 weeks, and this is your 11th house of hopes and wishes and friends, and it's actually your natural house on the zodiac wheel. So, this is a placement of the sun, which is very familiar to you and very comfortable for you. And you might be even more social than you normally are, which means that you're going to be on steroids in that department. So it's a great time for networking and shining your light. And you might be hooking up with friends more often during December than usual. Of course, that's not surprising since it's a holiday month. But then on the winter solstice, the sun moves into Capricorn, and therefore the most hidden and wooish part of your chart, the 12th house. And so this is going to be a time of reflection. Mercury will lead the parade of the personal planets through this woo house on December 10th. And so when Mercury goes in your 12th house, this might be a time when you feel yourself worrying more than usual. And maybe if I give you this heads up about that, it won't happen for you. Because, Aquarius, you're one of those signs that prefers to keep things on an even keel emotionally. And you're not real into the drama of life. And the 12th house can be all about drama, although it's like a foggy drama because Neptune rules this house and it's not very clear. So the emo qualities that Pisces brings to the 12th house can be apparent, but sometimes these things are buried very deeply. This is the house of the collective unconscious, past lives, even. And so when people have phobias or other types of similar anxieties, a lot of times it's kind of the variety that is the free floating anxiety. I link it to the Nine of Swords in the Tarot, the nightmare card of the 12th house. And I don't mean to make this into something totally ominous, but as someone who has recently been dealing with the 12th house and just starting to get over my planets being there, it's definitely something to take on in a conscious way and not to resist it, to just sit with it and to reflect and to see what is being triggered within you. And that way you can clean out the emotional cobwebs and be done with it. You can actually heal yourself. Venus has been in your ninth house in Libra, and it's going into the 10th on the 4th of December in the sign of Scorpio. So the 10th house is a house of career. And this makes you irresistible when it comes to giving off a vibe of total charm to people. So for those people seeking a job, this is beneficial energy. And for those who are trying to attract clients or who are trying to get a promotion, this can help you as well. Mars will be in your ninth house all month. And so, if you are somebody who has been wanting to publish a book, this is great energy for getting it all together because you might have to get your manuscript all organized and contact different people, design your cover if you're self publishing. It can also be a time when you really are devoting a lot of energy to a religious organization. You could be traveling at this time in December at some point. Jupiter will be in your eighth house for an entire year. So this is great for money that comes from other people or other sources other than your salary. Saturn will be in your 11th house for a couple of more years. And the 11th house, being your natural house, is, as I said before, the house of hopes and wishes. So, one of the possibilities that can happen with Saturn in the 11th is that your dreams become crystallized into 3D reality. So they don't just stay in the thought realm, but come down into the physical realm. So that's totally awesome. Another possibility is that you start to pare down your friendships, and those friendships that no longer serve you will get the heave ho. The new moon will be in this house on the 11th of December. And so look for new developments in your hopes and wishes. Maybe this is a time when something does come to fruition that you had wanted. Also, it's a great time to visualize or set your intentions for the things you would like to manifest in 2016. We have a full moon on Christmas Day at 3 degrees of Cancer, and this falls in your sixth house of health and the workplace and your daily routine. I do believe that some of you will be getting a lot of work, and it may not be your dream job, but it's a job, and it's definitely bringing in money. And the cards that I picked for you back me up on this. So this may be very true for a lot of you. Some of you may be actually ending a job, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You could be leaving voluntarily because maybe you don't like your workplace, or maybe you have an offer somewhere else where you're going to make more money, but you might be saying goodbye to some colleagues. And then you'll start the new year off in a better place on a better foot. And so that's actually a good thing as well. For some of you, this full moon may bring attention or highlight something that was previously hidden regarding your job, regarding your coworkers. So be on the lookout for any of these scenarios. Okay, on to the cards. So the first card describes what December is going to revolve around for Aquarians. And I got the Four of Swords, which is all about a I was going to say a spa day, but it's more of a meditation retreat than getting a pedicure or anything like that. It's really contemplation, setting yourself apart. And it's kind of a curious time to do this when we have all this holiday activity. Because even if you're not celebrating a particular holiday, you still are connecting with other people who do celebrate. So you tend to get sucked into it anyway. But the fact that the sun is going into your 12th house at the end of the month suggests exactly the sort of action that is warranted at this time, which is to reflect, to cultivate solitude. And it doesn't have to be for days and days, it could just be a few days. Unplug, maybe from technology and that sort of thing, because even the remote connections are still part of the social life. The message from Spirit is the Ace of Pentacles, and this is part of the money energy that I'm talking about because I picked 5 cards and 4 of them were Pentacles. And it's really not a time when I associate a lot of activity with money for you. But you do have that 8th house Jupiter transit, and then again with the full moon at the end of the month. So there you go. And this is like, some kind of gift from the heavens that is bestowed upon you in some way. And it should relate to money. It can also be saying for anybody who's had a difficult go of things in recent months or even the last few years that you're about to embark on a new money cycle that is going to be profitable, especially if you've been toying with starting a new business or you have done so, that it will be profitable and it's in its initial stages. The mindset you're to adopt is the Two of Pentacles, which involves perhaps for some of you taking a hobby that you love and making it into a side business until it's enough to support you, but definitely maybe a juggling act where you're doing more than one thing, and just to realize it might be kind of hectic right now and to be prepared for it, especially with that full moon in the 6th at the end of the month. And then the advice or the action to take is the Six of Pentacles. And this is somebody, if it's an action, for some of you, it could be that you ask for help financially, but for some of you, it may be that you're to give help to others because you have enough to give them. And this seems to connect with anyone who has recently received an inheritance, that you should spread the wealth as well now that you have some of it. But for some of you, you may be in the position where you have to kind of let go of your ego and just ask for what you need. Ask and you shall receive. The outcome card is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, which means that you are to avoid procrastination, especially for those people who are endeavoring to have their own business and maybe haven't seen the payoff yet and are tempted to give up. Don't give up, but really focus your attention on your project. And as I say, not every card may resonate with you. This is a general reading, Aquarius. If you'd like a personal reading, you can click on the link below for a list of my services. Thank you. I hope you have a great December. Bye.